I've had these mini M&Ms in my pantry since August. They expire in January, so I decided I should probably use them first. We're gonna make everything cookies with them, and I'm only gonna make a third of a batch because I only have enough for a third of a batch, and I want them all to have M&Ms. We're gonna start with some soft butter. I'm just gonna use room temperature, and yes, this is the butter that I made last week. Put your butter in your bowl, and you need brown sugar, and I decided I'm going to do something I've never done before. I got this Splenda. It's a brown sugar substitute. It's 1-on-1 with brown sugar, so I'm gonna weigh this out because this is what I'm gonna use. It smells like blackstrap molasses, so I don't know what it's gonna taste like. Then we also need some regular sugar. Cream the butter and those two sugars together. We used to make these cookies a lot at home. They were our favorite cookies because they had M&Ms in them and chocolate chips. So whenever we made this, we made like a 2-gallon bucket full. We made like a double batch of what's in the cookbook, and one batch of what's in the cookbook is a lot of cookies. So we would make like 2 gallons of them, and they usually disappeared within a week because we would also use them to pack school lunches for recess snacks. Once you have that all creamed together, we're gonna add our eggs. We're also going to add our vanilla right away. Beat that together really well. It should be nice and creamy. It takes peanut butter for these, so we're gonna put our peanut butter in there as well, and I always use organic peanut butter that has only peanuts and salt in it. If I use any other kind, I get a headache from the rapeseed oil. The way we figured that out was because every time I would eat something with peanut butter in it, when I was a very little girl, like 4 or 5 years old, I would get a splitting headache. So mom started looking into it, and she found out that rapeseed oil can cause headaches and is not good for your body. And so I just avoided peanut butter with rapeseed oil in it ever since, and it's helped. I had flour there, but we don't add flour to these cookies. They're flour free. We do, however, add quite a bit of quick oats. We're also going to add baking soda. You can also add nuts, but they're optional, so I'm not going to add any today. Mix that stuff in there. Now it's time to add the rest of our ingredients. We have our M&Ms. We have some raisins. These are also optional, but I like raisins, so I'm going to add them. Then we're also going to add chocolate chips. Now I always use Lily's from Walmart because they use stevia for sweetener instead of sugar. Now just mix that stuff in there. If it's easier, you can go in with your hand. I don't want to get my hands that messy today, so I'm just going to use a spoon. You see how easy these cookies are to bake. That is one of the reasons they were our most common cookies at home, because they were so easy. Now one of the other reasons we didn't make them as often was because we didn't always have M&Ms, so a lot of times we would just make them without M&Ms. Our cookie dough is ready to bake, and I'm going to use these cookie sheets. They need to be greased. You can use butter, but I'm all for convenience, so I'm going to use the spray-on avocado oil. Just shape them into 1-inch balls, or use your cookie dropper and just drop them on there. If you want thicker, bigger cookies, use a bigger cookie dropper. Once you have these all dropped on your cookie sheet, you need to take a fork or a spoon and flatten them just a little bit. They should look something like this, and then you just stick them in the oven to bake them for 10 to 12 minutes. You don't want to over bake them or they're going to get hard, and they're supposed to be nice and chewy. I'm pretty sure you guys all know that my physical printed cookbook sold out last Friday when we launched it, but in the meantime, until it comes back in stock, which is later this week, you can get my digital one. It is the exact version of the printed one, and it is 70% off on the website right now. It will be 70% off until this comes back in stock. The website is socialsbylavina.com over here on my profile, or depending what platform you're on, it might be in the caption of this video. If you don't want to click any of the links, you can just go to your browser app, open a new tab, and type in socialsbylavina.com, and this digital one is a download, but it is exactly like this physical one. So if you want to get it and print it out, you can do that, or if you want to get it and use the recipes until this is available again, you can do that too. If you want to get a notification for when the printed one comes back in stock, you can just go to my website, socialsbylavina.com. At the very top is the link to my website where this published cookbook is on. It will show up right away at the top, and you can just scroll down. There's a notify me button there where you can put your name and email in and submit it, and you will get an email the minute this thing comes back in stock. Our cookies are out of the oven, and if you want them to be thicker than this, just don't squish them as flat before you bake them, but you want to immediately take them off the cookie tray and put them on a rack to cool them off. I always like to put a piece of parchment paper on my rack. These things are always very soft when they come out of the oven, so they fall apart really easily, so I like to let them cool off at least a little bit before I eat any of them. I think they're also softer because I used the brown sugar substitute, but once these are a little bit hardened up or not quite as falling apart-ish, I'm gonna come back and we're gonna taste them because I'm suspicious that they're gonna be very good, like always. These things have cooled off enough that I'm gonna taste them now. They're still very soft and chewy. Let's take a bite. As my fellow creator Chess from Aggressive Tutorials likes to say, of course they're good. I made them. They're delicious. The recipe is under Everything Cookies in my Amish cookbook, and you know all the details about this. It's out of stock right now, but you know how to get a notification for when it comes back in stock. In the meantime, this one will never go out of stock. It is a digital one. You also know where to get that. So enjoy.